You've probably had this happen. You're in a dream. Something strange is going on. Maybe you're back in school in a classroom you haven't thought about in years. Maybe you're running from something you can't quite see. Maybe you're talking to someone who passed away a long time ago, and somehow that feels completely normal. Or maybe the whole world keeps shifting every few seconds, the way it only does in dreams. And while it's all happening, your brain just accepts it. You don't stop to say, wait a minute, this room doesn't have a ceiling. Or, why am I at work, but also in my childhood bedroom? Or, why is my third grade teacher driving a submarine? You just go with it. Then you wake up. And suddenly, the whole thing makes no sense. The dream falls apart the second you try to remember it. So, why did it feel real while you were in it? Well, that's the strange part. Dreams can make the impossible possible. They can ignore time, space, logic, memory, and basic physics. But while they're happening, they can feel totally real. But not always. Some dreams are blurry. Some barely leave a trace. But some feel vivid, emotional, and physical, almost like you were actually there. So, what is your brain doing? Why does a fake dream world feel so real while you're in it? The first thing to understand is that dreaming is not like watching a movie. It may sometimes feel that way after you wake up, like your brain played a strange little film while you slept. But inside the dream, you're not sitting in an audience. You're in the scene. You're looking around. You're reacting. You're afraid, or confused, or excited, or relieved. The dream isn't just something you see. Your brain is making the room, the people, the sounds, the whole world around you. And that matters. Because when you're in a dream, large parts of your brain are still active. The parts that process images, emotions, memories, and body sensations. Your brain can even create faces or places, voices, movement, danger, gravity, conversations, an entire world full of details. But most of those details aren't coming from outside your head. Your eyes are closed, your room is dark, you're in your bed, not actually walking through a city. You're not actually falling off a cliff. You're not actually late for a test in a class you never signed up for. Your brain is generating the experience from inside itself. You see, it pulls what is called memory fragments. Things like emotions, expectations, old places, or even old faces. Random pieces of thought that shouldn't connect. And it blends them into something that feels like a world. That's one reason dreams feel real. It's because your brain isn't just showing you a picture, it's creating a new experience. But that doesn't explain why you believe it. Because when you're awake, you can imagine things too. Right now, you could picture a purple elephant standing in your kitchen, but you don't believe it's there. You know you're imagining it. So why is a dream different? Well, part of the answer has to do with what's called the prefrontal cortex. That's the region just behind your forehead. It helps with planning, logic, self-awareness, and something scientists call reality monitoring. Your next question might be, well, what does that mean? That just means your brain's ability to ask, is this actually happening? You see, when you're awake, this part of your brain is very active. It's constantly testing the world. Does this make sense? Is this possible? Where am I? Or what happened just before this? Does this match what I know? You don't notice the process because it runs automatically, but it's happening all day. Your brain is quietly comparing what you see with what you know by checking your memories, checking cause and effect, or checking whether the story adds up. That's why, if your living room suddenly turned into a jungle while you were awake, you would notice. And you would notice that right away. You wouldn't calmly say, "Well, I guess I'm in a jungle now." But during many vivid dreams, especially during REM sleep, that logic checking system isn't working quite the same way. It gets quieter, so the dream can make wild jumps. A hallway becomes an airport, a stranger becomes your cousin. You're suddenly wearing roller skates while in a grocery store. And instead of stopping to question it, your brain just keeps going. You see, dream logic says everything is fine. It's all good. The weirdness doesn't break the illusion. It becomes part of it. That's one of the strangest things about dreams. They don't have to be logical to feel real. They only have to feel real enough while they're happening. And emotion helps with that more than almost anything else. You see, during REM sleep, a part of the brain called the amygdala can become very active. The amygdala is involved in fear, threat, and strong emotion. And it doesn't need logic to do its job. And that's why a dream about being chased can feel terrifying, even if what's chasing you doesn't make any sense. It could be a monster, or a shadow, or just the feeling that something is behind you. The details can be ridiculous, but the fear is real. Your heart may race, your body may tense. You may even wake up sweating, not because the dream was real, but because your brain produced a real fear response. The same thing can happen with sadness, or embarrassment, or joy, or feeling a loss so strong that when you wake up, it takes a minute or two to shake it off. And that brings us back to the question, why do dreams feel so real? Not because the dream world is actually there, and not because your brain is perfectly recreating reality. Dreams feel real because your brain is still doing a lot of the same things it does when you're awake. It builds images, it pulls memories, it creates emotions, it gives your body something to react to. And with the logic checking part turned way down, you don't stop to inspect the story. You just accept it. Then you wake up. Your brain comes back online, so to speak. Your waking brain starts sorting things out again. The story falls apart. The impossible details start looking impossible again. The dream suddenly feels strange, and a lot of the details start slipping away. But while it was happening, your brain gave you enough to believe it. It made you a world. It made you feel something. And for a little while, it made that world feel very real. So that's why dreams can feel so real. Not because they are real, but because your brain is so powerful, it can make them feel that way.